Hello everyone, and today we are doing our simple CRUD API tutorial. And in this tutorial, what we'll be doing is, number one thing is, we will be creating the database architecture for supporting our CRUD operations. That will be the database of employee DB and some stored procedures in that. And then we will be creating our web APIs in the Visual Studio, and in the end we will be test our API by using Postman. So let's get started.
Okay, so let's open SQL Server Management Studio and let's connect our SQL Server. So the server is connected now, and let's create our employee database. So create database employee DB. You can press F5 or you can simply click on execute, so your command will get executed, and when you refresh your database you will see that the database has been created. So now let's use employee DB that we have created, and now we will create the tables. So the table is create table, and we are creating tbl underscore employees. And in this table, what we need is we are creating the ID, that is integer, that would be our primary key, and of course identity that will start from the 1 and incremented by 1. And then we will be having our, let's say, employee name, that would be varchar, and let's set the length to 100. Then we have employee email, again varchar, 100 will be good for that. Then we have employee salary, and that would be decimal. So here we have created it, so let's execute it. So the table has been created. Now we have to create the stored procedures. So let's create procedure, and our procedure will be sp insert employee. So for this procedure, what we require is actually these things, and we are like as begin and we don't need these brackets actually, and with those we don't need that ID too. So what we need to insert, we need to insert employee name, employee email, and salary. We are not inserting the ID because ID is auto incremented, so that will be inserted automatically. Okay, so employee name, employee email, and now we are writing the query that will be insert into tbl underscore employees. And what we have to insert, we have to insert the employee name, employee email, and employee salary. So values, and in these values we will be providing our these parameters we just have created. So these are the parameters we have created, and now we are providing these employee name at employee email and then employee salary according to it, and let's execute that. Alright, so it's saying a syntax error near employee email. What's that? Oops, I'm sorry. So the procedure has been created. Alright, so now we are creating the update procedure. So we said sp update employee, but in update we also need the ID because we have to put this in the where clause that which record has to be updated. So we modify this procedure like update table and set. We don't need these brackets. We just employee name is equals to employee name and it is equals to our parameter employee email, and employee salary will be equals to at employee salary, and we don't need rest of the lines. What we need is a where clause, and we are writing where id is equals to at the rate id that we have created. So execute it. So we have executed this. Now we need a procedure of delete employee, and in delete we don't need any parameters. We need parameter of id because we have to put this in where clause. So with this update condition, we just need delete from tbl underscore employees where id is equals to id. So let's execute that. Procedure has been executed. Now we need sp get all employees, and for all employees we don't need any parameter, and we just simply write select all from tbl underscore employees. Execute, and now we need sp get employee by id, because if we need a specific employee, so we are putting where id is equals to at the rate id. Oops, I missed the parameter here. Here's the parameter. So let's execute that too. Okay, so now if we refresh our databases, and we can see that we have this table, we have this employee table, and if we want to see our procedures, we will go to programmability, and in stored procedures we see all the procedures are here that we have created: sp insert, sp update, sp delete, get all employees, and get specific employees. Okay, so now our database has been set up, and let's move to Visual Studio. Okay, so let's open Visual Studio, and I'll create a new project here. Select ASP.NET Core Web API as we are building the API, and let's name it CRUD API. So the framework is 10.0 in my case, the latest framework of .NET Core. Let's create. So it'll take just like a few seconds, and here your project is ready. Okay, so the first thing first, let's go to app.string.json, and let's create a connection string here. So here's the connection string. Let's name it default server, well in my case my server, and then database. Database is employee db, trusted underscore connection is equals to true, trust server certificate is equals to true. All right, so we have configured our connection string. Now let's create a new folder in our project for the models. So in models, let's create the employee model. I'm sorry, employee. And let's create the attributes here. Public int, in our case, let's make it capital. Then we have public string and employee name, employee email, employee salary. Okay, so we have created this model, and as we usually follow a repository design pattern, so let's make a database layer. So I'm creating another class that is employee repository, and in the later stage we will use it as a dependency injection in our controller. So let's make employee repository that will be directly talking to the database server. Okay, before that, just go to tools, um, new git packages, and because we are using adu.net, so we have to install the package SQL client, Microsoft Data SQL client. Let's select your project and just click on install. I accept, and the package has been installed. Okay, so let's come here. Let's create a variable, read-only variable for connection string. That will be connection string, then public employee repository configuration. Let's make it connection string is equals to configuration get connection string, and in our case our connection string is default. Okay, so now let's start making methods that will be inserting the data into and getting the information from the database. So let's make our first method, that is public list employee get employees. Okay, okay, I think we have to add using our project name CRUD API dot models and using system dot data using Microsoft dot data dot SQL client. Okay, so get employees is our first method. So let's create it. Using SQL connection, con is equals to new SQL connection, or you can simply write new and underscore connection string using SQL command. That would be like cmd is equals to new and our procedure sp get all employees. Let's make it visible here. cmd command type is equals to command type dot stored procedure, as we are using the stored procedures. So the command type is this, and we make con open, and now using SQL data reader, while we read, we need employees dot add new employee, that, and now the parameters that we have created in the model class, that will be like, because it's integer, so reader id, then we have employee name, string reader name, employee email, and that's not name, that's employee name. And let's copy paste this, and that would be employee email, and in the last we have employee salary, and it's in decimal. Employee salary, let's move it here. We have Mr. Bracket here. Okay, so after the while loop, we'll be doing return employees. Simple. Okay, so we have created this method get employees, then using sp get all employees. Now sp get all employees is from here, sp get all employees, that will hit this stored procedure here. Okay, and returns the list of the employees, and it will be stored in this list, and this list will be returned in the end. So now create the other methods. So our next method would be public void add employee, or let's make it similar name like insert employee. Model and emp. So as we need the same thing, so let's copy paste these things from here. Let's paste it here. Just change the name, insert employee, and then you have to create the parameters. So cmd dot parameters dot add with value. So you know the name of your parameters. So let's create it, employee name, and what we have to pass in that is employee name. All right. So let's copy this, paste it here. Then we have employee email, and then we have employee salary. Similarly, employee email here and employee salary here. And after that, you can go to say con.open and cmd.execute non-query. So that will hit this procedure and insert the values that has been provided in this procedure. Now similarly, copy this procedure, copy this method and make it for update employee. So in the update employee, if we go there and it's update employee, and in update employee we have to change this update employee, and we also have to add the ID because there is a where clause where we have to provide the ID. So here it goes, ID. So here we created the update procedure, update method here. Now we have insert employee, we have update employee, we have get all employees. Now let's again copy paste this and let's create delete employee. But in delete employee, we don't have to pass the whole model, we just have to pass the ID. So let's pass the ID, it's sp delete employee. We just need to provide one parameter that will move directly here, and here you go, the delete function is ready. Now we just need another method, that is get a specific employee. So let's copy paste our first method, and this time we don't need it as a list because we need only one employee. So get employee by ID, and we have to provide the ID in this method. So we don't need that list, we just need employee is equals to null, then we will be using this and get employee by ID. Let's check the name, get employee by ID. D is capital, so let's make D capital. Okay, in this we have to provide the parameter of ID. So cmd dot parameters dot add with value at the rate ID comma ID. So we have provided that. Now the connection dot open using a SQL command reader, execute reader, and we don't need a while because we are not fetching a list, we are just fetching a specific employee so we don't need this while. Just what we need is, let's, if check reader is not null, reader.read, let's now put this, employee is equals to new employee, just cut it from here and paste it here. That, and then just return employee. So here's our simple method for getting a specific employee. Alright, so now we have made all the methods in this employee repository class. So for the dependency injection, we have to figure it in the program.cs. So when we have to use the dependency injection in any controller, so our program should know that this class has been registered in the program.cs file. So let's open program.cs file. And let's add builder.services.add, and it's because it's a database class, so we are adding singleton for one instance and our employee repository. Okay, so we have registered there. Now what we have to do, now we are going to create the controllers. So let's right click on controller, add controller, select API controller empty, select add, and this is our employee controller. Click on add. So here we go. Okay, so the first thing is we have to inject our dependency class into this controller. So let's do it. Private read only employee repository underscore repo. Public employee controller, and now we are doing the dependency injection. Okay, now the controller methods. So the first one is http get all response would be okay. Underscore repo dot, so our method is get employees. So let's move to another method, that is http get In this method, we'll be like providing the ID. So public action result, let's add, or we can simply say insert. No, it's get, sorry. Get, and you'll be like int ID, and let's say var emp is equals to underscore webpo dot get employee by ID, and here we are passing the ID, and now the response return emp if null, so say not found, otherwise return emp. Okay, now http post for our insert operation. Let's create public action result, insert employee emp. So underscore repo dot insert employee emp and return response okay. And let's pass the message employee added. Then create the update method, http put employee emp underscore repo dot update employee emp, and we return okay, and the message that would be employee updated. And in the last, we are creating the method http delete and let's pass ID in this method. Public, just scroll it up, action result, delete, and we're passing int ID underscore repo dot delete employee ID and return okay, and the message will be employee deleted successfully. Let's save it. Okay, so now we have created our project for API, and now we have to test this project. If we just save this project and run this project, so you will see that the project on Kestrel server will be running. So you can see here the project is running successfully. So let's now check it in the Postman. Okay, so let's open a Postman to check our API. So here's the Postman. Let's click on new here, HTTP. So in this HTTP, let's write HTTPS localhost and 7066. So 7066. We have API slash employee. So let's hit the get method. All right. So we are having the response, but no data is in this. So let's select the post method and let's go to the body, select raw and just put some data in it. Okay, so let's have employee name, that's John. We have employee email, this should be John at xyz.com. Employee salary, and that is 7600. Okay, let's try to hit that. Okay, so we received the message employee added. So now let's check our get method again. All right, so now we get the data. Let's check in the database. Select all from tbl underscore employees. Execute. All right, so here we have the data. That's good. It means our API is working fine. If we again try with another name, let's say Carter, put Carter here, and that should be like 8400, and hit that again. So employees added. Let's move there. Let's execute that again. So the Carter is already in the database. So our API is working totally fine.